Good morning, everyone. We are starting off today's adventures underneath US Route 93. This is a highway in western Arizona that runs northwest out of Wickenburg toward Wickiup and toward Kingman, if you're familiar with this area. There are a lot of fun things on the docket, on the menu for today, a variety, a potpourri of different things that we'll be seeing and doing, and I'm excited. But first we need to get into the bottom of the dry wash over here. I found this trail that seems to be leading somewhere. So let's watch our footing here. Try not to fall into the little slot canyon down there. I think I missed a memo here. I think I missed something. Let's backtrack, see if there's an easier way to get down in here. Okay, yeah, by backtracking a little bit and going up to sort of the head of the canyon, I was able to get down into it, drop down into it. I don't know if this is the way I'm supposed to be going, but I think this will eventually get me there either way. And it is a cold morning. It got down to about 25 degrees last night at camp. That's about when it was, or what it was when I woke up this morning. Whew. Okay, I'm finally emerging from this little side canyon out into the main wash, which I think is where I should have been all along. I parked over here. I should have parked over here. Doesn't matter. We made it to the wash. We're gonna follow this for about 1.25 miles to today's first destination. And now after about an hour of hiking, including all of the messing around at the beginning and the, stopping to fly the drone and film and everything, I'm at the first destination that I wanted to see. I always love seeing water in the desert, and here we have a little spring. It's actually a warm spring or a hot spring. There's a little pool coming out of the earth right there and right here. And it's sort of trickling down right there. It's also coming out of the ground right there and over here. So there's a nice little scattering of water pools here. They're not hot. They are warm to the touch. Definitely warmer than the ambient air temperature. But this right here is actually the main attraction. This is a little pool that people have developed. This is called Kaiser Hot Spring, or Kaiser Warm Spring, or Springs. You could definitely fit a few people in here, and the water is, it's almost hot. I would say that it's hot enough. This feels hotter than the warm spots I felt up there. Isn't it crazy how you can see the water just gushing out of that hole in the rock? I'm not gonna take a dip in it right now. It's cold and I don't want to strip down and get into this, so seeing it is enough for me. But yeah, that's actually quite nice. It is, there is some algae in here, but that's basically always the case for natural hot springs like this. What is less neat, and something that I had read about online and was a little bit concerned about, is that this area is highly used by burrows, by wild donkeys, and you can see evidence of that all over the place, like lots of footprints, lots of other sign. And I had read that there was a dead donkey just upstream of the hot spring. And that was fairly recent, like as of a couple of weeks ago, people were saying that. And so I was prepared to see and smell that when I got here. But I got here and I was like, well, I guess the coyotes must have come and taken care of it because I don't really see or smell anything. But then I saw sort of a grizzly token sticking up out of a pile of sand over here. There's really nothing too graphic here, but I saw this ear, this donkey ear sticking up. So someone came and piled a bunch of sand, a bunch of dirt on top of the donkey over there. I don't think that would affect the water. Like there is some stuff, some water over there. I don't think it mixes with the water in the pool, but I guess that's something that you might want to consider. But we're gonna go further down canyon. So we parked at kind of the head of this canyon. That's where those bridges on the highway were. And we're gonna continue down to where this canyon meets another canyon. And along the way, we're gonna try to avoid the cactus and the cholla and the other thorny, prickly plants that are out here. They're fun to look at, but man, these are a pain, literally, if they get stuck in you. I said before that I really like finding water in the desert, and that was one of the reasons I wanted to go on this hike, because not only was there that hot spring back there, but just a little bit farther, once you get out into the main canyon, there's a creek, or at least most of a creek, or some of a creek. I don't know. There is occasionally a creek here, and there is still water. So you can see some of the water over there. There's a big pool, well, relatively big pool of water right here. And then you can see some more farther down the canyon, like right there. And the plan was basically just to come here, see the water, see if there's any fish in there, maybe frogs, any other signs of life. Really, I just like seeing water in the desert, whatever form that takes. That's enough of a reason for me to go on a hike. If there's water along the way in the desert, sign me up. Let's see, I can't quite tell how deep this is, and as I approach, am I scaring any little critters in there? Am I spooking any fish? I don't see anything. It's maybe 1.5 feet deep out here. Let's go up to this next one, see if we can find anything. Beautiful canyon though, look at the walls here. Pretty impressive. Yeah, it's very cold this morning. The water has a little bit of ice on it. And with the wind coming through the canyon, ooh, it's chilly. What the heck? I think I just watched a couple of airplanes fire off a missile. Well, that was interesting. If you watched the previous video, you will have seen that I had a couple of fighter jets fly like right above me. These ones were a little bit farther away, but so I could see 2 of them. Can you guys even see me? Am I even in the frame here? Anyway, I looked up, I heard that airplane sound, that like rumbling sound, and I looked up and I saw the 2 jets, and then I saw like a flame come out of one of them. And then I'm pretty sure that was a missile. Crazy. As I mentioned in the previous video, there are various military bases and training ranges in this region, both in Arizona and in California. So it's not that, it's not that crazy theoretically to see, but when you see it in person, it's kind of bizarre. Anyway, feels good to be standing in the sun. No animals in here though, no fish in there, no frogs that I can see. Not really that many footprints either. There are these little prints. What are these? Is that a little javelina or something? It is beautiful water though. It's beautiful to look at. I'm sure the animals here appreciate it. This is several feet deep. And man, this is such a cool canyon. So dramatic. Up there. Over here. Oh, and I just noticed these. These are turkey tracks, I'm guessing. They look kind of like dinosaur footprints. When I was planning today's adventures, I was looking at various maps and I saw that there was a mine above here. So we're gonna go check that out. It's not too far away. I don't know if there's anything there worth seeing, but we'll poke around a little bit and see what we can find. Look at this funny little herd of birds just kind of walking up the mountain. I scared them, so they're running away. Well, we have stuff. I don't know how how interesting this stuff is. Looks like lots of pallets. This looks like concrete. And then all of this stuff looks like cores that have been drilled out. Oh, how interesting. These are drawers that have been made maybe out of some pallet wood. I don't know. Huh. I mean, this stuff isn't that old. Like, I mean, look at these cardboard boxes, you know, like this isn't anything, you know, from the early 1900s or anything like that. Yeah, these are just different core samples that have been taken out and organized. I mean, I can't really make out, I mean, I can read it, but I can't tell what any of this means, if this will focus. Looks like the depth, but I don't know what else. Huh. How interesting. Look at this. I've never seen anything like this before. So I guess they're out here drilling those core samples, looking for gold or silver or something in those samples that they gather to tell them, here's where you need to dig. Huh. And again, I'm causing considerable stress to the birds over here. I don't know if you can hear them chirping and squawking, but they're continuing to flee up the mountain to get away from me. Okay guys, I poked around the mining area a little bit longer, didn't really find anything else interesting, so we're back at water level at the bottom of the canyon. I have a couple of options now, and I've been debating what I want to do. So we came from the canyon that's over here. That's where the Hot Spring Canyon was. So we could just go back that way, the way we came, back to the car. But I kind of want to climb a mountain. And so this mountain right here, I don't know if it has a name. I mean, I looked online and I couldn't find any name for it. I don't think it's anything especially remarkable, but it's just one of many pretty impressive Arizonan desert peaks. And so I think we're gonna try to climb that. Now from this side, it looks kind of impossible. I mean, if we zoom in, there are some very large vertical cliff bands blocking access to the top of the mountain. So that's not really gonna work. But maybe going up the ridge over here, maybe we can go bypass some cliffs. Maybe that side of the mountain isn't as cliffy. I don't know, let's go check it out. We're gonna go farther down or up the canyon over this way, and then we'll have a better look of this side of the mountain. Okay, well, I've hiked for a good 15 or so minutes down the canyon, and results are inconclusive. I'm not entirely sure I will be able get up there. I think that I could climb up this slope and around this corner. I'm guessing that's doable, but I don't know. And I don't want to climb up there just to find out that it's a sheer cliff. And so we are going to use the wonders of technology and fly the drone up and take a look around the corner of the mountain here to see what the deal is. So flying up. Ooh, that is cliff. That is sheer cliff. So let me show you the, where I was thinking of going. And that is not doable. Let's go back over to the right side. If we go far enough over to the right, can we, oh, there we go. There's our inn right there. So right now we're looking up the canyon with the hot spring in it. And you can actually see the bridge where we started, actually off in the kind of the top right corner. And then do you see that slope? That slope that comes down that doesn't have any cliffs on it. I'll put some arrows here, or I'll circle it or something. That slope is doable. But the question is, do I want to put that much effort into climbing this mountain? Let's look back over to the right. I don't know. I don't know if I do or not. Let's go back up the canyon. Let's go back the way we came to that spot where that slope meets the bottom of the canyon. And then we'll see how I feel. Man, I'm glad I did that. Well, there's good news and bad news. I'm at the base of that ramp, that natural slope. It's actually this. At the top of the cliffs here is that slope that goes up. I need to get on top of this, and the bad news is that I can't. I mean, you can see this is just cliff all along here. And I walked around to the other side, and that's all cliff too, so we're not going to be able to go up there. But while I was flying the drone, I saw this. So there's sort of a break in the cliffs right here, and there's that big green bush right in the middle. If I can make it up through there, I'll be able to, follow the easier slopes to the top. And again, I took some drone footage of that area. I'll show that here and point out the weakness in the cliff band there. But I think that's what we're gonna do. I was debating about whether I wanted to spend the time and effort to go up the mountain, but now that I'm here, I like a good challenge. I want to see if it's doable, if it's possible, so we're gonna give it a shot. That was so great. That was so much fun. It wasn't all that difficult. It was really just picking the right line up the mountain, you know? I guess the most difficult part was avoiding all the cactus and all the cholla that's up here. But apart from that, it was great. And I've been up on top for actually about half an hour now. This spot where I am now isn't the tippy top. The tippy top is, 50 feet over there. But this spot has the view, the expansive view of the canyon. I can see the creek down there. I can see the mine over there. I see a squirrel like just on this next little ledge down that's kind of staring at me, wondering what on earth I am. I bet this doesn't get many visitors. I tried to find information about this peak online. I couldn't. It's not on Peak Bagger. As far as I could tell when I was looking up at the summit area, I couldn't find any sort of summit register, so this doesn't get climbed very often. I don't know what peak that is, what the name of that cool pointy mountain in the distance is. I'll look that up in a minute, but it feels so good to be up here. It was so cold this morning, and now there's a very light breeze, but it's not too bad, and the sun is high and it's warm. I'm like a lizard up here, just basking in the sun, soaking in the sun's warmth. It's been great. What a fun little adventure. Okay, I just looked it up. That pointy one is called Greenwood Peak. And then if we look down, we've got the creek. This is called Burrow Creek. That's where we were earlier. And then we can see the mine out there. We were over there too. And then the canyon with the hot spring in it is kind of over in this direction. And then from the other side of the summit area, we can look back toward where we started. I'm parked right under the bridge, right there. And we're gonna go down this way. So I'm not gonna go down the way I came up, which was from over here out of the canyon somewhere. I'm gonna go down over here. The slopes of the mountain are kind of more gentle as it goes over this way, I think. And so there are, looks like a couple of old roads down there. Maybe I could follow one of those, or, I'll just go cross country back to the start. It only took about an hour to get up here from the bottom of the canyon where I left the main trail and went up the side of the mountain. Not bad at all. And it's really not that late. It's only 1:10. I think I'm gonna spend some more time lizarding up here, taking it all in. And then again, I'll hike back to the car that way, and then we'll see how I feel when I get back to the car. I'm a little bit hungry. I just ate the last of my food. I had some little cracker things that I ate, and so I'm looking forward to some of the leftover pizza that I still have in the car. So that's what's gonna be motivating me on the descent. Gonna eat that, rehydrate, and then we'll look at the time then and we'll figure out what we want to do. But overall, this area is so cool. Like, there's so much to do and see here. And I think that can apply to all of Arizona, really. You look out here and it just seems empty, but you take your time, you do some research, and you find things like the little hot spring, and even just parking under the highway I thought was kind of neat. And then this creek down here, this source of water out in the otherwise very, very dry desert, going over to the mine, climbing up a little mountain. Like, it all adds up to something, just something really, really fun and really great. And the fact that, I know this isn't like national park level scenery, but this is still pretty darn awesome. And you're never gonna find anyone else on top of a mountain like this. And there's nothing especially special about this mountain. Like, there are thousands of mountains like this in Arizona that you'll climb and never see anyone on. That's so cool. I think Arizona overall is a pretty underrated state for adventuring. I mean, yeah, it has the Grand Canyon. It's got, other well-known places. Sedona, obviously, a very pretty spot. But I think a lot of people sleep on a lot of Arizona. I think that's their loss. This is a fun place. I've always loved this part of Arizona since I first came here almost a decade ago. And it, it's kind of got its claws in me. I love it. Anyway, I'll see you guys back at the car. Barring any unfortunate cholla incidents, that is. We successfully and safely made it back to the car, and I've been here for about half an hour, refueling in the form of pizza and some other stuff, rehydrating in the form of sparkling water. That actually isn't all I wanted to do today, and that isn't even the only hike that I wanted to do today. That's not the last hike I wanted to do, and that's not that last hike that I wanted to do from here. So I actually moved the car. I was parked like 1 minute over there. I had parked in the wrong space this morning. It wasn't the best spot this morning, and so that's why it took me a little while to figure out how to get into the canyon. But I'm at the spot I should have parked at, and from here, let me show you a couple things. So from the parking area, there's an established little trail that goes down into the wash, and then I followed that over here, and this is the mountain that I just climbed. So I came back down that way, but there's this other canyon right here. It cuts left and goes back under the highway. Apparently that's a slot canyon. I don't know how narrow it gets, I don't know how high the walls are, but I think that'd be fun. So as long as we're here, we might as well check it out. And I'm tired of wearing the hat today, so it's come off. And I noticed that people have likely camped here. There are fire rings and just signs that people probably do camp here. Just being here for a little while, sitting in my car, hearing the trucks go past ahead or above where I am, it's driving me crazy. I can't imagine spending an entire night there. So I do not recommend camping at this parking area, although I guess you could if you really needed to. Yeah, this is the path from the edge of the parking area. I parked just right up there, and just right here is the start of the canyon and the start of our little hike. It's called the Kaiser Canyon Narrows. I don't know if that's a real name or if that's just, whoa. Whoa. Anyway, I don't know if that's the real name or if that's just what someone on the internet called it, but either way, that's where we're going. And I can't get over how weird it is to start a hike by going underneath bridges like this. And now we're getting into this properly narrow section. Looks very dark and ominous. And we have a little hole in the rock, little miniature arch right there. Always fun to see those. It feels almost dystopian to look back and see that bridge back there. It's so out of place in this otherwise very rugged, very wild landscape. It's also like 10 or 15 degrees cooler in here, so if it were a hot day, this would be a good hike to do when others might be a little bit too toasty. I don't know if you guys will be able to hear it, but there's this chirping sound. It's a bird or something, like a baby bird. That. It sounds like when a smoke detector in your house needs to have the battery changed. You know how the beeping goes off every once in a while? That's what it sounds like walking through here. Very odd. Well guys, I think this is going to be our turnaround spot. I thought the turnaround spot was going to be a cliff in the canyon or one of the big boulders that I wouldn't be able to get around, but I was able to get around all of those, and it turns out the end of the canyon is just that. Like the canyon ends, it widens, it broadens into just kind of a shallow, dry wash. And so there's no real reason to keep going beyond this. There were some obstacles to get here. I was able to climb all of them, but depending on your level of fitness and how comfortable you are with climbing and scrambling, you may have trouble. But the real best part was pretty close to the start. It was where I was going into the Narrows and I said that it looked kind of ominous and dark. That was the coolest section, and it's been really pretty since then. But if you're short on time, just do that part. I mean, that was 5 or 10 minutes from the trailhead and really, really cool. And I need to get going. It's 4:15 right now. Let's see, how long did this take? 49 minutes, 1.41 miles. And I am getting low on battery. So we're gonna make this quick. I'm gonna hike back to the car and then go drive around and find a campsite. And I'll see you there. Welcome to camp, and once again we got here with daylight to spare. That is something that I'm trying to do a little bit more in my adventures this year. Not go, past sunset, but try to have some time to relax at the end of the day. Get to camp while there's still some daylight, and then I can do whatever I want to do and unwind a little bit. I stumbled across this campsite sort of by accident. I was driving to a place that I had marked on the map where I was going to look at campsites. By the way, this campsite is huge. You could fit a big camper trailer here. I was going to another spot I had marked, and then I saw a sign for this road. Decided to check it out, and it's a really wide, well-graded road. There must be some sort of mine or something at the other end. That's usually where the good roads come from. And then just over here, you can barely see part of it. We might see some traffic on the highway over here. This is the highway that I have been underneath for a good portion of the day. I was parked under the highway over there. The bridges were way over here, but it's the same highway coming through over here. So pretty easy campsite to access. Oh, and remember that pointy mountain that I pointed out from when I was standing on top of that nameless mountain? It's right there. Pretty impressive peak. Feels great to have another day of adventuring under the belt. And again, like I was saying before, this really is, I think, a slept-on, an underrated adventure destination. You're not going to find a lot of established trails out here, but if you want a place to just wander, go climb some peaks, go hike, and not encounter any other people, Western Arizona is so good for that. If I were a young adventurer, if I were a younger version of myself, I would choose a place like this to move to and put down roots, like Kingman, which is a city that's an hour up the road. It doesn't have the glamour or the outdoor adventure pedigree that a place like Moab or Bishop does, but it's so much cheaper. You could actually maybe afford a house in a place like Kingman, and you have so much at your doorstep. You have just, within an hour or two of Kingman, there's just basically infinite mountains to climb, infinite hikes to go on. The infrastructure isn't here. Again, you're not going to find a lot of well-signed trails, but if you just like to wander around in the wilderness, I think that this really is an underappreciated and underutilized destination. But I'd like to hear what you guys think, and let me know what your opinions are, and let me know what your favorite part of the video was. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll see you in the next one. Be sure to check out Adventure Know-How, my new site, where you can gain access to a map of all of my free campsites, plus monthly bonus videos that you won't find anywhere else. Learn more at adventureknowhow.com. And for links to everything else SUV RVing related, visit suvrving.com. Links to these sites and more will be in the video description.